Welcome back. The Stockwell Eldridge Show. Sunday, 10 a.m. here on AM 1280 The Patriot. I'm Jason Stockwell with RE/MAX Results.
And filling in for Don Eldridge, I'm Stephanie Havel with Wells Fargo Home Mortgage.
We have Jeff Peterson here with CPEC 1031, doing 1031 exchanges. And I just want to reach out to you, and if you're listening or you know someone who's listening or you're watching this on YouTube, if you've been in investment real estate and you have duplexes or single families, or you have one or two, or you have 10 or 20, and you want to transition out and you're sick of the headache, or you're sick of the property management, or you're sick of whatever, or you want to go and put in money into something else, which we'll talk about later in the segment, call us. We can help you, give you an evaluation of the properties, what they're worth. Now is the best time it's been since the recession for selling your investment real estate. Duplexes are so in demand because there's so many people entering into the real estate investment world. And there's so many buyers that are smart now that are buying duplexes and living in half, renting out the other half. So call us, email us, text us on if you have anybody, or if you know of someone, or if you yourself have property that you want to see what the value is and potentially exchange it into something else. The question I have, or a couple questions I have, is I have getting to know a lot more people, Jeff and Stephanie, through the radio shows, through networking, just through business. A lot of people are doing investments out of state now. They're doing investments in Nevada, Colorado, some in North Dakota during the oil boom, Arizona. They're either in housing or real estate related, or they're actually in medical marijuana production, or buying land to do a facility with a greenhouse to build medical marijuana. How does that play in, or is that something that 1031 is involved in or can be involved in? So out of state is the first question. Can it be out of state? And then secondly, can it be in something that's like a medical marijuana facility on land?
So that's an awesome question. And, they say you make money when you buy, not when you sell.
Yes. Yep. I've learned that.
Right now, I see people in the Minneapolis market just enjoying enormously high prices because vacancy rates are down.
Yep.
Rents are up. Right? Interest rates are down. This is like the perfect time to sell in Minnesota and take your money to a different part of the U.S. where maybe the market is a little bit more depressed.
Yes.
Right now, all the snowboards are leaving Florida and those nice, warm, sunny states, and vacancies are up, and the market is softening. So why don't you sell high in Minneapolis and go and take your money to a different part of the country where maybe the economy is not as strong, or the real estate cycle is opposite of ours?
Yep.
And buy right.
So you can go out of state. Has to be in the United States? Is that the rule? Continental? Yep. Or, what about like Puerto Rico, or what about all these,
So the U.S. territories.
We're getting way in depth here of someone who may, not normal, but I'm just curious.
U.S. territories are a little bit of a gray area. There is a private letter ruling that allowed a taxpayer to exchange into the U.S. Virgin Islands, but the like-kind standard was more stringent. You had to hold it for income production as opposed to just merely holding it for investment or business. So most people I talk to keep their money in the U.S.
United States. Okay.
And they go into Florida or South Dakota or Texas. People are looking for those tax-friendly states because if they ever do a taxable sale, they'd prefer that taxable sale to occur in a state that doesn't have an income tax.
Well, and I think we had talked about it earlier because I had asked the question, if I have a $50,000 gain from my investment property, can I just buy another $50,000 condo? But I guess your kind of question made me think, so if I had a single-family investment property that I sold, or a duplex, or do I have to buy the same? Like if I had a duplex, can I only 1031 exchange it and do another duplex? Or kind of maybe along Jason's questions, can you buy
a grocery store, a gas station, or something?
Can it just be any type of real estate, or does it have to be like kind? Or
So the like-kind standard is very, very broad in the realm of real estate. And it's funny because I just got a call when I was driving down here to the radio station. Man wants to sell an investment property in St. Paul. It is a laundromat, coin-operated laundromat, and he wants to buy a gentleman's club, a strip club up in Williston, North Dakota, which is evidently an area where you can buy real estate now at a good price. So, you can exchange a farm for an apartment building. You can exchange a grocery store for an office.
Or in his case, he's going from coin-operated business to a dollar-operated business.
Dollar to make you hollow. Okay, we digress.
All has to do with clothing, I suppose.
Yeah,
right?
there you go.
Or medical
Well, that's
marijuana.
cool. So,
You're blushing, Jason.
yes, when you start talking about gentlemen's clubs, it's not a topic we talk about very often. But the question I have too is that was leading to my question. When you're buying, when you have an investment and you're exchanging that, you sell it, and then you have to identify in 45 days and close on it in the next 180 days. That was my question: is how do you time up markets? Because if you're in the same market, you can't, because you're selling high. Now you're going to buy the next investment high, but you can go out of state, look for areas that are kind of on the cusp. They're like, you look at parts of Denver, and you look at other parts of the country and other cities where there's literally areas that were blight, that were just horrible, and now they're transitioned. But if you can catch them on the front end and buy low, just like Jeff said, then you're in, and then you hold in there, and it'll just appreciate. You'll have appreciation, plus you'll have cash flow, plus you have money. And if you're interested in gas stations, laundromats, there's so much real estate that's not just single family houses. It's amazing, mind-boggling, that you can get into in any business that you want to do. One side note or question I have: restaurants. How do they feel about restaurants? Because we're dealing with a lot of people with U.S. Food Service right now who have a ton of collections out, or judgments out, because of so many restaurant failures.
Really?
So how does it work for restaurants?
Well, the building, the land, the brick, the mortar, that building can be exchanged. We do a lot of exchanges for franchisees. We just did about 15 Burger Kings, a big portfolio of Burger Kings. We've done Kentucky Fried Chickens and Pizza Huts and all of those kinds of stores like Arby's. People like those single-tenant restaurant properties because you don't have as many of the 3 T's. You don't have troubles with the toilets, the tenants, the trash, because in a single-tenant restaurant building, usually the tenant pays all of the taxes, the insurance, and the maintenance. All you have to do if you own an Arby's, sit back and collect your rent check. You don't have to manage it like you have to with apartments.
Call us if you have questions about any of this, or if you need help with anything. I'm Jason Stockwell, Remax Results. Our number here, 651-400-0773. Go to YouTube. We're on there. And you can see Sparkle's on there. You can see Jeff on there. And on Facebook under Stockwell Eldridge Show. Jeff Peterson, CPEC 1031. I would not recommend anybody else for your 1031 questions. The guy is amazing. His voice is phenomenal. I could sit and listen to him forever. And Stephanie Havel,
yes,
Wells Fargo.
Thank you. Yeah, and be prepared too. I know we're talking about that, but as far as financing, we have financing options for investment properties. We can lend in all 50 states, and
you can get loans when you're using for 1031, right?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Right.
So there you go.
Absolutely.
So more questions, call us. Otherwise, have a great week. Remember, love yourself and love others. Thanks so much.
Our house, it has a crown.